Hello and welcome to Arreya Digital Signage. I'm Mark Winella. I'm going to be leading this demo with you today. Before I get started with the demo though, just to cover a little bit about Arreya, we are digital signage, but much more than just that traditional screen on your school's wall. We provide all the tools to create, manage, and deploy your communication. Today I'm going to cover that creation part, how to make some of that happen on your screen and integrate some Google widgets along with our other widgets. But what sets us apart is our technology also reaches devices like phones and computers. So now you can reach your students when they are learning from home or wherever they are with that same communication that's in your school. So if you are interested in learning more about Arreya during ISTE, please set up a meeting with us. We have other demos running too. We are running an overview demo plus a progressive web app demo, a Google device demo, and I'm also doing a Google integration demo. We are also giving away a Captain American shield here at ISTE, so do enter through the ISTE Raffle Center offer and check out our website, arreya.com, to answer any other questions or call us anytime to discuss your needs. So I'm going to jump into digital signage that's live. So Arreya is web-based. You log in through your browser. Chrome browser is preferred and most current and updated one. And that is simply done by a URL that you sign up with Arreya. For this sample, I'm using ISTE2020.arreya.com. This can be accessed at any time on your devices while you're watching. You can bring up another window and see the final result. But this shows a template design that we've incorporated in, some things going on. From here, you would log into your account through the browser. As many users can log in wherever you are. You don't need a special software on your computer to make the edits and changes. So that's what really unique about Arreya. And once you're in Arreya, you come to the dashboard. And this is what the dashboard does look like. Our dashboard covers showing you what's currently playing, what devices are listed. And it gives you the URL here, this ISTE 2020, you can copy and paste. But that's kind of a quick overview. Our overview demo will also cover the management side, the analytics, the devices, the schedules. What I'm going to get into today is the creative content. So under content here, we'll go to our presentation. Currently, I have two set up that I've used for my demo for the Google integration, but we're going to start from scratch. So we're going to put in a new presentation. We're going to select a template today instead of custom starting from completely blank. This is a common route for many schools. Inside here, we have our education templates. And from here, you can pick one that pertains to your content, something that looks and feels what you're after. From there, you can then customize and change anything. Our templates are not locked down. So once they're open, you can then modify and change them in any way. So we're going to do this demo one, call this template here. Hit finish, and then the demo presentation opens up. So Arreya will always launch into the editor once you create a new presentation. Just asking for the credentials. We'll jump back in and we'll enter the demo. Once in the demo here, it's going to look like a lot like PowerPoint, Google Slides, and it does have the capabilities much like Illustrator or Photoshop with the styling and layering and everything you can do there. So this is what comes up on screen, the template we've imported. Now we're going to just customize and show you the Creative Studio and how we can make things happen. To make it your own, obviously your school's logo is probably the most important thing to have on here. So we can update this link. All our objects can be updated. Before we're going to get into the actual pieces and parts, you can see we click around and move things. I'm just going to cover the layout of the Creative Studio here. Along the top, we have the document settings and things we can tweak and change in the settings. The next three widgets along the top in the gray boxes by this plus sign is a new presentation. We can simply start from here. We can also do duplicate a page. We can also then do page settings. So in this one here, I'm going to name this page that we're currently on, the main page. From there, we are going to then do the theming and timing. So the theme here, this background is the red for maybe that school is red. But in this case, we're going to do the gold color. And the gold can be, you can pick a gold. If you know your branding colors, that's important too. You can type in the web safe colors that you have and go from there to match your colors correctly. So we're going to pick a gold color. That's looking good. We want our text color to be white or black. We can change this to be, so all our text that comes in is defaulted to black, and we're setting up some of our parameters. So now we have the gold background. As you can see, when I move things in the very background, it is gold. Now along the top, we have a text field. You can click on the text field at any time. A text box will pop up. Simply click and edit a text box, which we'll get into in a little bit. And then the images along the top, you can draw shapes, and then a listing of all our widgets, which we'll run through as we progress. So that's the top layout. Along the bottom, you'll notice there are some features here. When you are on an object or selected a widget or anything on your screen, these are activated at the bottom. You can delete them, rotate them, and edit these in any way. We can copy and duplicate, so we can copy this slideshow, duplicate, another one comes on screen. So if you've set it up, you like how it looks, you can start duplicating things and moving around to design quickly. From here, though, one important part of designing, like in all the programs, if you are building it up, you get layers on top of layers. And we do have the ability to bring in layers around. So say this background one image here, you want it on top of this new photo here. We do have a layering style section. From here, we can select the layers. You can move to the bottom, top, move them up individually. In this case, we're going to bring it to the top. So that's the gist of how to use layers. You can see as I'm moving things around, nothing's locked, really changing things quite a bit inside here. So we're going to just start updating this and making this look more like targeted for our school. The first thing would be to import our school logo. We can simply relink an image or file at any time by using this link button or bring in a new image. I'll show you just two ways to do that. We'll do the relink and we'll find the logo. So we can, it accesses the media gallery. Once you're inside here, you can bring in any video, any image, any logo, anything that can be seen on the browser, on the internet can play. We support JPEG files, PNG files, transparencies, PDFs, the first page. Video files, we save on the back end and export them correctly. So everything, there's no conversion needed. We manage that for you through Arreya. I can click this logo and insert it. Now you can see it brought it in, and now our logo's in place. Let's say we don't want the blue anymore. We can just delete this blue box, but instead let's put a white box behind the logo to create a little bit more contrast. So we can create a shape. The shape comes on screen. We can then move it into location and size and scale it in place. And then it's in front, simply at the bottom, place it behind. So now we're building this up much like a PowerPoint presentation, a little more advanced, more like an Illustrator type layout. On the top right, maybe we don't want the December fully written out. We want a different format. All our widgets, if you watch, have come out dialog box. We have a text field that auto sizes. We have the style sheet on any widget that's on the screen to go in and stylize. In this case, we can go back into here and change the font size. As you see, if I move the font, things happen on screen. Let's make this, maybe this, we want this a little more bold, the time and date, a little larger. And if we don't like the format, what if we just wanted to highlight the time instead? We can change the format to time. Now it's just putting the time on here. We put that in the corner. And maybe we want a smaller section that has the date. So we can actually bring many widgets on the screen. There's no limit to this. So we're going to, under our widgets, this is where you find all the widgets we have available. Time and date is right here. We'll select, I want to pick the date to appear. So this September 4th date, and hit OK. Now we have its own widget on screen. It brings it to the center. You have to look for it highlighted. There it is. We grab it and we move it into place. Let's then size this up to what we feel for design we like. It's a little less, a little smaller, and maybe we'll add a small little feature. I'm doing a lot of design components here, trying to build it up to show you how quickly we can make some cool design aspects happen. Now, as I'm moving along here, I've been designing. One thing, this is on the web. We do want to make sure we're saving often in case there's interruption with your internet. So this top right here, push live. We push live to save. It's going to, down the bottom, you'll see the revision 1. It's going to scroll through and go through this and complete. And now we've saved a version of this. We're moving along. The next part is maybe this slideshow here. We want to customize this slideshow. So one of the most popular widgets that's used is our slideshow widget. It's set up, you can bring in as many slideshows again as you want. What it does is this widget calls a folder. Inside that folder, whatever we put in that folder will then display in this area. So we have these slides right now playing. Maybe this isn't your school slides, this is from the template. So we're going to update this and show you how this can happen. So again, on the settings tool, we're going to go into the slides. We do have a slideshow. Right now in this template, nothing's been set up. We want to create a new slideshow folder. So we will select a new folder and name it, maybe this is homepage event message. There we go. Created that. Now we're going to identify that that's the folder we want to pull from. So we've created a folder that you can access inside Arreya. And now inside the folder, we're going to put in this folder the images we want to use. So we can then add a slide. Maybe this SGA was one of our messages we've created. We bring that in. We add the slide. We selected add a slide. Let's add a second slide to make the slideshow. Maybe that's brought in or someone has designed one for your school. This one is on STEM that I've brought in from a previous slide I've created. We're going to add that. So we have our two slides that are going to revolve through this main messaging and update. One thing to note inside our slideshows is that's really powerful is on the settings of each slideshow, you can individually customize how long each slide plays, but more importantly is this start time and end time. So let's think about SGA. Maybe that this election for this school government association is up next week. You don't want the slide to continue playing and have to remember about when to stop it or get it in here to delete it. Instead, what we can do, we can start it to play today, but then we could end it for next week on the 10th. That on the 10th, at exactly maybe the election is over at 2 o'clock, they all have to be in, or 2 exactly p.m., it's over. Now we hit OK, and you'll see this clock stamp on here. So now this slide is scheduled to come on and be removed at those times. We're ready to go, ready to roll, hit OK. Instead of fading out, let's do a horizontal scroll in. So we have options within our slideshows to come in flipping from the side. And let's leave this on a little longer. Let's make it 12 seconds. We can fit and fill. That means how it's proportionally filling the area. We're going to fill it on this one here. And we have controls. We can have captions. We can have swiping for interactive. And we can have a gallery view, which puts like thumbnails at the bottom, depending on how much going on. For this case, we are just going to have the regular slideshow. So it'll start to populate and bring in the new events. There we go. Those two slides that we have are going to load in and start playing. As we move through the messaging on this, the one other part here is how about a Twitter feed, the bottom right. This is Twitter coming in, a handle. All it needs is one of our widgets to bring in. We can delete this and show you how that happens. So under Twitter, we can then bring in the widget. We can just put the handle. I'm going to just use Arreya Digital. I have some information for it right here. Let's hit OK. Here we have it. So now we put that handle in. So we move it in place, style it, and move it the shape box to fill the area. Now we can always go back in and update, and with all our widgets in the settings, change our properties. So under username, we did put that Arreya Digital. You can put your school's username, your handle there. Under options, we have the ability to just show text only, media, and text. In this case, let's just use text only. We have the author, that's the tagging at the top. We can turn that all off and on. I'm going to leave it off. And then from there, we have the slideshow, so you can show how it's coming in. We're going to fade it in, and how many and how often. So time for between each is 10 seconds, and we're going to fit to the area. And then we hit OK. And now we have updated with our Arreya Twitter on here. This could be your school's Twitter. Moving along the bottom to help continue moving forward here, we have integration of a calendar. So this is right now an empty field. We're going to integrate a Google Calendar into this area like a slideshow format. One thing is we do integrate pretty simply with Google. So under the settings tool, you can jump in here and you just need the calendar URL. I've currently have in another window, I'm going to jump to Google. Where you want to grab that from is on the calendar settings where the name of your calendar is. You hit the settings tool and you jump into this calendar. This is a sports calendar. I'm going to scroll down to the integrate your calendar area. It's this ID right here. You're going to copy and paste this 35-digit code, which is secure. It can't really be searched. And what we're going to do is we're going to place it into the editor back in here in this calendar URL. If it doesn't come up, then I haven't copied it correctly. I'll go back in and make sure we copied this entire piece. All right, it is flowing in now. There we go. You can see the calendar is populated, giving the preview. We have the options here to show you the month, the week, the day viewing, agenda week viewing. So depending on what you like, some of this is ideal for a display. Some of it's more for a full screen type piece. For this instance, we're going to do the slideshow. Every event's going to show individually for the month. Hit OK. And now we're going to have this updated on the screen. So this is the event today. And we're going to put it in there. So that's what's happening today. One other thing here is that Google Slides being imported in the bottom right corner. So we can update this. If you've created your Google Slide, you want to make sure that you're creating your Google Slide to match. So in your properties, you're going to set up a Google Slide. This is a 1920 by 1080 ratio, a 16 by 9. And you want to match the width for your document that your page is designed for. So it's 582 by 328. So when we get into the Google Slides, this messaging can match. We're going to copy and publish this to the web. So if you go to publish to the web, inside here, once you publish your slide to the web, it is secure. It's this it's a code-driven piece that can't be searched. Just select the publish to web. Then we're going to embed it. And you're going to copy this iframe document. Back in Arreya, you're going to paste that into the settings of this widget. So either you can relink this widget, which we can do, or create a brand new widget. The same settings will come up when you go down to our widgets and bring in a Google Slideshow widget. We're going to paste it in. And now you can see that same COVID messaging is now synced correctly. We're going to do some parameters and settings. I'll play this every 10 seconds. We want it to loop on. We don't need controls on this, and we want it to auto start. We hit OK, and it's going to sync up, and now we've updated this slide. The other thing on this page is we have some blue lines and grids and some shapes, so we can then get back into all these and either delete them or change them. Maybe we want these to be black. Blue is in our color for our school, so we're going to just customize this whole page and make it look correct. Again, we can change the colors. One thing about we do offer transparency on our objects. So what's happening here, the opacity is turned down. We can then turn this back up and make this fully like our logo. We have the black, the gray, and the yellow going on. Maybe we want to change this to gray. So this is some design elements that you can always be updating and changing and creating. So that's looking pretty well branded. You can clean up everything, line things up. That's important, how things are looking. But that overall gives us a good layout for the initial page. This is more of a dashboard, a lot of content. The next thing is your signage is that thinking of like a PowerPoint. What can the next page be? Maybe you just want to focus on a calendar of events for that day or for that week and give more emphasis. So we've designed this one page right now. Let's duplicate it. So in the top here, we have this duplicate option in the middle here. We'll hit duplicate. And you'll see we have page 1 now and page 2, duplicated and previewing. So we have the 2 to design and work with. I'm going to hit push live as we're moving along here so we don't lose any of our work. And we're going to update this page 2. So the idea is like PowerPoint. We can play page 1, say, for 30 seconds. Then it's going to jump to page 2 for 20 seconds. Then we'll do a page 3 for maybe it's one slide of information for 10 seconds, and can revolve through. You can list out as many pages as you want. Each page can be its own single page. It can have a video or any other of our widgets. So we're ready to roll. So this page, I'm going to maybe focus more on a calendar type piece. Let's delete the slideshow so it's not repeating. Let's then click around and delete parts of this content. We're going to have this gray button maybe fill more of the area and get rid of our Twitter. We're going to then bring up this messaging for a calendar. Maybe this is a different calendar we sync to. Maybe this is the sports calendar, so we can then emphasize a new calendar for that. Just sync for your sports calendar. From here, let's adjust the size of the fonts here to give it some boldness. We can also create some different fonts in here and justify things. And there we have it. This is getting a lot more bolder. So this is that second slide, I think that's going to come up. And let's then update a few other things. And maybe there's some more reminder type piece on here. We can then put a marquee. What about a marquee to run on here to remind of today's sporting event coming up? So just quickly, I'm jumping quick, but we have the marquee tool. At the top here, we'll select marquee. Inside here, the sample text. we can put basketball game tonight at 7 p.m. Watch live. We're going to just place that in. So we type that text, and that can be anything. We're going to then scale it into position where we like. Again, in the styles, adjust the fonts. There we have it. Now we have a marquee running. And what about some basketball or some sports type photos, or maybe a previous game, slideshow here. We'll then go to slideshows, and let's start making a new slideshow. We'll call this one sports. Okay, let's select which one we're going to play. The sports slideshow, again, home event messages, the one on the home page. This is sports, and let's pick a few images to just play in here. So I have the mascot already loaded. You can then find and load your own images. You can also search. So under Add Media, you can search your drives, you can search Google, you can search your computer, and place those in. I'm already populated. We're going to grab another one. Here's our, maybe someone's talking in the gym, picture of those, and we'll hit OK. Maybe for this one, we can just do some flips to show you some different things that can happen. 7 seconds, hit OK. And now we have our images kind of placing into place, and we're going to hit live as you can see them happen. So this idea of this next page is going to be scrolling through from the home page, layering it in, getting everything put into place. There we have it. It's coming together pretty slick here. This is that second page, so we have page 1 and page 2. Thinking about the pages, we can go to the settings here. It's always good to name the pages. So under the settings tool, we can then name this page sports calendar. And then we have the ability to timing. This is important here. So right now it's default to 6 seconds. This is that idea that this one we want on for 20 seconds. So now when that's playing, it's going to come on for 20 seconds. Let's go back to the home page. We talked about that being on for longer or shorter. We can come in here and set that. So now we're kind of doing our timing for everything. This is on for 30 seconds. So now we have a 50-second type cycle on our digital signage. So we have page 1 that we designed out. Now we're jumping to page 2. Here we have our page 2. And now we're going to duplicate this to page 3 and do some more content. So on this page, what if you just had an announcement or alert messaging? Maybe it's a little more prominent, one message that you want them to grasp or know what's going on. Maybe the school is closing tomorrow for some event and you want a reminder. Let's go ahead and make that happen. So I'm going to start deleting what we've had. We've duplicated the page. From here, we're going to bring in an image for this one and start building the page up. So under images, we can bring in an image. We can search an image. We do have access to Pixabay, so at any time if you wanted to search like a birthday announcement, you can come in here if you're looking for an image, search an image, and look for maybe vectors of birthdays. And there we have a cupcake, different things you can pick from, endless options here. For this instance, I'm just going to jump back out, and we're just going to grab this backpack school image and kind of develop our own single page content driven piece here. So here we have this backpack image. I'm going to place it in, and then we can then scale it. I want it the full width. So what I'm going to do is make this 1920 and hit OK. And that image is now proportionally inside it. From here, we have options to scale it and edit it. We're in the settings. We're going to do the fill. I'll show you how that's going to work. It's going to zoom in and fill the whole area and create this message place for us. I'm going to hit push live. From here, we're going to put some content in. This is that maybe don't forget school's out on Friday. So let's build some here. So we have this circular image. We can then draw and place it in a lot like you're designing in Google Slides, in Word. From there, we can style this. Let's make the opacity down. So I'm really doing a lot of different design things here to make it easier to read. From here, let's bring in an icon. So load. You can search an icon. Maybe my icon that I'm looking for is this kind of announcement thing. So now we're kind of developing, designing it up, making it look like something more than just text on a page. We can then bring the text box that I talked about earlier, click on the text box at the top, text field comes in. From here we can do don't forget, select it. At the top when you're doing your select in the creative editor, we can then create and add fonts to create boldness, change it to something, this is called Roboto font. We can then italicize it and move it into position. Here we have it. And then now you can simply type your message in inside here. So school is closed. School is closed Friday. Maybe you want huge importance on this. And move it into place. There we go. Quick messaging. This can be updated weekly, not forget. Now we have the 3 pages ready to roll. It's saved out. Now let's do the settings on this page. This is our don't forget page. We're going to rename it. And we're going to do the transition. Maybe this is just on for 10 seconds. This is a shorter message. So there we have it. We're kind of developing this 3-page piece that's happening. From here, we have a lot of other widgets that I want to just cover and maybe go over with you. Let me just duplicate this page to a 4th page. We can also stream and bring in Google Sheets. We can do YouTube with videos. Maybe there's a recorded video of a game, something that's happened. In our slideshows, we can bring in videos to play. So I'm just going to bring this guy in here. And you can put it on your screen. And videos do create a lot of attention. We can then also do live feeds. So if your school is streaming some sporting events, some live announcement, you can bring that through Google YouTube, or we can do it through a webcam type application. Through YouTube, you'd simply just put in the URL again of what that video or that live stream is, and hit OK, and it comes up on screen. And that's how easily things happen and integrate within Arreya. We also have a countdown, which is kind of cool. So maybe there is an event coming up. We can pick the date of that event. Is Christmas is school is out. The idea here would be maybe Christmas, a countdown for how many days and hours are left for till the holiday break in minutes. If we hit OK, we can then 15 days are left. Let's just start designing this in. And so it gives you the ability to do a countdown. Right there we have it. So we have 15, 23-hour days left until and you can put some message in front of it. So in this idea here, maybe it is going to be Christmas break begins in 14 days, 23 hours, and 59 minutes. So that's kind of cool. On top of that, what if we just added to dress it up? I'm going to do that search Pixabay, and we're going to search Christmas. And we're going to see what comes up here for some vector type images. Look at that. So now we have the ability to bring in kind of an image. We click on it. There we go. Hit insert, select it, hit insert. And now we have this cool image on our screen. We have a video playing behind it, and maybe some more messaging opportunity on this page. From here, we can then, let's say, add another slideshow. We also have the ability for weather. I showed you that, how to bring in weather. I'll just quickly do that. So our weather widget comes up. You can turn it off or on with the ability for conditions, just the forecast only. Say for this one, do the forecast, and then you can put the location of the device or an area code. I'm going to do 52402. That's where I am currently at. Hit OK, And on screen, you can see the 5-day forecast is there. Put it in position, and now we have weather on this page. Hit push live, and we're kind of designed and ready to go. So from here, I just want to jump back out. I'm going to show you where we ended up. It's that same URL, that ISTE2020.array.com, and show you how that's scheduled and put live. So we're going to exit from here. That covers a lot of the Creative Studio, how things are handled, how you can create and design and set up things pretty easily. From here, I'm going to jump into schedule. We're going to put this, update our schedule. Currently, I have that widget that I was working on the other demo, but I'm going to change this to our demo 1 that we just created. Hit OK. And now that should be updated. As you can see, we are going to update and showcase what we have just designed. So here's that front page. We updated the Twitter. We synced in a new slideshow, Google Sheets, or Google Slideshow and Google Calendar. We updated the colors and the logo. We gave that SGA election a timing that's going to go off next week. From here, after what I think we set this for 30 seconds, it's going to flip to the that second page we designed, which is more of that calendar view. We're going to jump to here. There we have it. So that comes up now. That's going to play. We have the basketball game announcement tonight at 7 p.m. Watch live. We have a slideshow revolving. Then we have this calendar in the middle that's going to address and bring some importance to these dates. From here, I think we had this one playing for 20 seconds. So this gets time to go through, and this comes to that single message point that we have. That's one slide that you want to get attention of. School is closed Friday, so that comes back on the screen. I think this we just did 10 seconds. Now it flips to this one we quickly created, and now we are running, and that was, I think, 6 seconds, and we're going to jump back to the home page. So we have our 4-page revolving slideshow presentation complete and designed. There you have it, Creative Studio and how Arreya can work for you. We also do demos and training on this and can run your school and help you set all that. With through ISTE, we are doing a free template design for you. You can take advantage of that. Just mention ISTE 2020 to us, and we'll set up your own school template ready to roll with your content that you can then populate in and handle like we've done today. Thank you for your time. Do check out our other demos. Don't forget our giveaway for the Captain America Shield. You can sign up for that. And thank you very much.